Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast, where our only sponsors are companies we create. That's Kai. I'm bowing down to AI. Kai, two exciting things first. This is episode 69 of the Sold Too Early Podcast. Nice. And we are obviously matching. We totally planned this. It's just one of those things that happen. Kai, how the hell are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I had to miss last week, but everything's good. How are you doing?
Good, man. Listen, really can't complain. Joey held down the fort, I would say, acceptably last week. Just kind of had conversations about everything sports cards and some stuff that wasn't, which was exciting. Now we're kind of looking forward to Burbank this coming week, which is great. I fly out of New Jersey on Thursday afternoon, and then I take a red eye home on Sunday night going into President's Day. So I'll be dead. I'll be exhausted when I get home, but hey, with no more football anymore, I don't really care what my Sundays look like at this point.
That's true. I didn't realize. Is that a holiday federally?
President's Day is a holiday. I'm
Yeah.
off work for that.
Yeah. Is that what, Monday?
It's that Monday, yeah, which is why it's so nice that the timing just worked out on the calendar for me. I took 2 days off work to be
Yeah, it works out perfect.
In California for 4 days. I'm not rushing out there and I'm not rushing out to leave. So Burbank should probably be the second best show of the year. Like whether it's this version, the one that happens in August, whatever you want to call it, like the Burbank Card Show is the second best show in the entire country. Number one being the National.
I was going to make a joke about number one being Atlanta, but you beat me to it. So
no, listen, there's a couple interesting things going on in the background. Few things though. Oh, I wonder if I could say this. Well, you know what? There are rumors about it, so it's fine. There may be a major show happening in the next couple of years, according to my sources, in a city that uses the acronym Big Apple. That's not an acronym. Otherwise, no. Yeah, the acronym is,
That's a nickname, Dave.
Whatever. I'm a little stupid. It's fine. The point is, major show happening in an area close to New Jersey that some people think is the entire state of New York. The joke is New York City. There might be something happening in the next couple of years, and I'm not going to say where or by who, but just keep an eye out for 2025-ish for that.
It's kind of weird. They would announce like rumor-ish kind of stuff that far out.
It's unconfirmed sources that I've heard now from two separate people. So that's why I'm not really saying anything beyond just that knowledge, because I think you could assume a couple things based on just who is now working at certain companies and organizations and who might have a track record of organizing successful shows, ironically enough, going on around this time, and where they could be looking to next.
God, I wonder who you're talking about.
Kai, it could be anyone. It could be me. Oh, hello. I now work for this company, of course.
Honestly, I feel like if you put your mind to it, you'd do a pretty good job, like putting together a show. I don't think you'd want to do it, but I think you'd do a good job.
I would do a good job if I didn't have to deal with bullshit, which would make me terrible.
That's why you wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, I think that in terms of getting dealers and quality of people to a location, I think I could do it. I think I could handle the marketing side. I would struggle with the bullshit that goes into that, because running a show is a very thankless job. Everyone hates you. Everyone wants preferential treatment. You're going to get schmoozed up on every single way you can, which I guess might be a benefit if you're into that type of stuff, but it's very thankless. And I appreciate those who do it. I don't have that capability in me, and I know I could do well at it in certain aspects, but others I would suck at it. It would not be fun for me.
I've always been curious. I know most people that run shows or do their own show, they don't really talk about this part, but I've always been curious how much these people make off the show. I don't know if it'll ever be released on any of them, but I'm just so curious.
I mean, listen, I think that you'd be surprised at how little some of them can make. I think you'd be surprised at how much some of these shows can make. I've heard rumors that the Dallas Card Show clears 6 figures in profit per show. And you know what? That wouldn't shock me based on ticket expenses, table costs, the Starlight Room, all that other stuff. But they're also paying a good amount of people to be there. And I would not be shocked if that does generate them six figures 6 times a year, give or take. Like, it's pretty crazy. But dealers come to expect that now, and the quality of that show speaks for itself. And there's a reason why people travel to it so often. Hell, there's a reason why I travel so often to Burbank. I supported that show since the start. When they first did that show, August of 2022, I believe, now at this point, because it'd now be 2 years
The one
old.
with like the hour-long line outside.
Yes, that first show, I was the dealer who traveled the farthest away, which is super funny.
Really? Like confirmed?
They made a post. I'll
Cool.
Now I'm gonna check in when I'm editing this video if I can find the Burbank Card Show post about it. They had a map of like where dealers were traveling from the first show, and there's like one, maybe two people who traveled from like New Jersey, and
That's kind of crazy. How many tables was it? Probably 200.
That first one was probably about 200 tables.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Because now I think of Burbank every time now as this massive show. I'm like, no one traveled further than New Jersey, but now it makes sense that was the first one.
I mean, they also handpicked dealers the first time.
That's
you
true.
You were invited to set up at the show. It was not, hey, this is open to everyone. They really, in my opinion, did it the right way of keeping it closed to not gatekeep, obviously that's not the right word, but they wanted to make sure the first time was done successfully. And if you were asked to be there, you met some either kind of quality or you were legitimate in the sports car world, and they wanted you to, if you wanted to set up, have that ability to. And I think that helped really set the groundwork for the show, because it was fucking expensive, dude. It was an expensive show even 2 years ago.
It's still expensive?
It is the most expensive show to set up at in the entire country.
Yeah.
Except for, I guess, the national, but like that doesn't really count.
Isn't it kind of like sad / funny how people were so excited about those like IG posts when they first started doing them with like announcing the dealers and stuff?
I just think it's good marketing. I think it's still something that's super important. What's funny is that EJ and I are actually gonna probably meet up at some point on Thursday or Friday. I'm actually gonna be talking to him about Speedy Card Lister, which is the software I'm gonna be launching. Hopefully in the spring. I kind of made that joke in the intro about like, yeah, the only people who sponsor us are people who make companies by us. It's like, yeah, it's just a program I've been working on for the better part of the last month or so. The idea being that I fucking hate listing stuff on eBay. It is the worst. And the only way you solve problems, Kai, is by figuring out ways to make them better for yourself. eBay sucks, and this is a tool that hopefully in the coming months and years can be useful to everyone. And if it doesn't, everyone hates it. Well, I made it for myself, and that's perfectly fine. And you could hate it all you want. We'll see how things look in a couple weeks. I'm sure I'll dedicate a real portion of an episode to it when that is available to people. But hey, I announced it last week, and I'm excited to make sure everyone hates me in the coming weeks and months. And that's a good sales pitch right there.
We gotta get some backing on a little infomercial for you to like put between like every 15 minutes in the podcast.
Oh my god!
And now from our sponsors.
It's a sponsor. It's just me. I mean, listen, EJ's a great guy. EJ is someone who always was pushing the agenda forward when it came to technology in the marketing side of the sports car world. And you know what? I would love to get his opinion and thought process on this. It also happens to be useful that he works now for Nags as a director. Ooh. And that's just a good thing to have in your back pocket of someone who is legitimately our friend. He's been on our podcast before. He's someone who is always friendly to me. And obviously I paid that in kind traveling across the country to Burbank 2 years ago. And every time since. And while he's not affiliated with them anymore, you know, he created something incredible there, and they obviously still have a good relationship. So he'll be there and it'll be exciting. He actually moved to New York. So
is there any, I could probably look myself, but is there any like news or traction on like the Fanatics show stuff they're doing, or no?
Not much. There's not too much going on right now from what I've heard, but like, I think it's just so early on that like you'll hear stuff eventually.
Because I think it was probably only a few months ago that he started doing stuff with them, right?
I think he joined Fanatics officially like last month.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if that's what they're doing, but you know what? New Jersey and New York and the Tri area in general can really benefit from major card shows. Like, Laz is now doing another one at the American Dream Mall. So about 2 years ago at this point, Probstein had did a show there. They're copying it. It seems like I think it's maybe a one-to-one recreation of the exact same show, maybe a little bit different, better in certain ways. The one thing that is concerning about the American Dream Mall show, or I think that's what it's called. I think I called it the Mall of America, and that was wrong. I think American Dream Mall is what it actually is next to MetLife Stadium. The issue with that is it's a 3 stories, like it's ground floor, second floor, and then like escalator up. Like that's going to be tough, I think, for people. They're not going to really know where to go. I hope that's not the same thing this go around in March. It's also a marathon, like it's 11 to 11, like the mall hours. So
yeah, is anyone showing up at 11 p.m.?
Dude, I can tell you one thing. I will not be there at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
I probably won't be there at 11 a.m. I'll make it work into my schedule. And I thankfully am friendly with both showrunners who are marketing it. And we'll see what happens. I have higher expectations because they know what they're doing. It gets incredible foot traffic, but I think it might be more people like on the very entry level sports car roll as opposed to the ultra high end collectors and dealers. But we'll have to see what happens in a couple weeks.
Yep. I wish the Southeast had like 1 or 2 more good shows, but
I mean, what do you guys really have in Florida? You have
Florida. I mean, there's the couple shows on like the west coast of Florida. I'm blanking on the name. There's like one pretty popular one actually, but I've never been. You probably have heard of it. It's in like West Palm Beach or something.
Okay. Was that the one that happened right after Thanksgiving?
I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the only shows that I know of from Florida would either be through you, Lane. I know Santiago traveled a couple times to Florida for shows, but I do know that one of them basically got shut down after one of the showrunners was like possibly scamming people.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, there's nothing really. I really hope that Orlando, I don't know why there's not something mad. I know there's like a decent show in Orlando, but I think it's mixed with like Comic-Con, comic sort of stuff. But I don't know how they haven't done something in Orlando. I think the National was there maybe like once or twice in the early 2000s. I could be wrong on that. But I have no clue why no one's took advantage of that. Orlando's huge hotels, Disney. I don't know if maybe Layton does something in the future there. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Listen, I still don't understand why New Jersey, New York struggle so much. New York City, I can understand because like.
But you guys like have shows though, don't you?
We have an abundance of shows. That was actually one of the questions we got asked by. Oh, you were not on the podcast with Brad.
Which one?
This was one of the episodes you had missed. His name was Brad. His name's Outlaw Sports Cards. Older gentleman, super friendly, like a good guy. Marches to the beat of his own drum. Like, it is a very unique individual, and I mean that as a compliment. I want to make sure that's clear. And Brad was like joking with me about this, saying, "Yo, there's so many shows in New Jersey. Like, dude, how do you like fix this? Like, there should be like major shows, not every single weekend in New Jersey, 3 to 4, like 30 to 50 table shows." And it's like, what's the point here? And I agree. It's tough. We have so many like D class type shows. Like, if you were going to organize it by table size, like 30 to 50 to 75 table shows, which are perfectly normal and fine, should be there, but like there's so much capability for more. And actually that's what I alluded to last week talking about the Freehold Card Show, which had happened I guess now 2 weeks ago at this point. That's about 100, maybe 150 tables. Like, that could actually grow into something if nurtured properly, if they want to. But
I'm assuming it's because none of the smaller people want to give up their thing and merge together, kind of.
It's probably a mix of that. It's probably a mix of just like, hey, I've been doing this for X amount of time. I'm not moving on my turf. How dare you? Like, this is my thing.
Yeah, no one wants to take the backseat to like the main, whoever gets the main show, probably.
Well, once again, and we're tying this all back into Burbank too, because that is happening this week. If a show is run properly and has either the right backing or the right marketing or both, Burbank's only been around 2 years. And after their first show, people who didn't attend had major FOMO. And then the second show was incredible. Hell, the show in Macau is going to be incredible this year coming up because so many people mentioned how positive it was in
Are you going?
2023. I don't think I'm that tier of collector or have that kind of money
Disagree.
available. I don't have that money available right now to do this
Disagree.
because I don't have that money I want to spend right now
There we
on.
go.
Thank you, Kai. I'm more worried about my wedding this year and then buying a house.
I feel like you would crush a show like that, though.
I would do fine. The thing is, like, my priorities are not always sports card related,
Honeymoon.
and that's what you say.
Honeymoon.
I'm going to Greece on my honeymoon, so I'm not going to Macau. I'm not going to think about cards for a while, dude. Like, I probably think about sports cards maybe 20% of the day at this point. Like, it's not nearly as much as you would think. Like, extraordinary cards, the profile, the Instagram commodity that it is, the hobby, legend, and goat is kind of a character in a way. Like, I don't think about sports cards nearly as much as I used to, and I'm probably much happier for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I do a little bit of buying, selling, grading here or there, but I'm probably down to like 20-30% too. Just
Like,
everything.
well, it's just like you gotta be a well-rounded individual. You have to have other shit you want to do with your life. Dude, you know how much RuneScape I've been playing lately and like been loving the fact that like
I've been playing Pal World though.
So good. I can't wait for well, once it's actually cross-platform, we'll play and like that'll be a fun thing to do.
It's like fake cross-platform. It's stupid.
They'll fix it. They have so much money right now. They're literally printing millions of dollars. There's so much shit going on though. Like the sports card is incredible and I love it. Like obviously I've been focusing a little bit more because Burbank is this week and like you gotta have inventory and cash ready. But obviously speedy card lister is something I've been building. My job, shit for my wedding, just like hanging out with my friends, playing video games, like being a human being. Like people who dedicate their life to being online socially, especially in the sports card world, it's gotta be exhausting, dude. Like you have to have like this facade like mastered in a way. And I think part of the reason why this podcast has continued to actually grow is because we're just kind of real. Like if we're having a bad day and we come on this podcast a little more negative, like you can kind of feel that. But like when we're actually talking about it in a constructive way, I think is where we actually make a lot of like positive growth in these conversations because it's real. There's no like there's no character behind the personality that is KP2 cards, or I guess today bowing down to AI because it's just us.
Well, I think building off that, most people that do stuff like this or whatever are predominantly they do cards as like a full thing. Like it's their, like you said, it's their identity. They do cards full time. They have a shop, they have a website, they have a YouTube channel. Or the people that listen to them don't really do anything with cards. Maybe they're just getting into it. So for us to have a podcast like this, we're kind of the middle ground. So it's kind of real. You know, we don't spend all day on cards. It's like a hobby and a business. So we're like the middle ground that listeners that aren't beginners that watch some of these YouTube videos that are like so over exaggerating everything and all hyper and everything. But we're like the average, I don't want to say average collector, average dealer, but like we're like in that middle ground that is almost more entertaining in a way that's like not fake, like you've kind of said before. I don't know if any of that made sense, but do you get what I'm trying to say?
We're not telling you to buy certain things. We're telling you to think critically about X, Y, and Z.
It's like we're just having a chat, basically.
Yeah, well, that's
compared
what it should
to producing something.
No, and I think that's the point too. Like, hey, if you want your sports card advice, here it is in 30 seconds. The Super Bowl is over. Brock Purdy's bad, obviously. He's tanking 20%. If you think he's good and the 49ers will be back, you should buy Brock Purdy. If you think Patrick Mahomes is good, you should buy Patrick Mahomes. But not right now because there's so much available and the prices just went up. There you go. There's your sports card knowledge that you should probably know.
Sponsored by Speedy Card Lister.
Thank you. SpeedyCardLister.ai. Get it right. But that's the funny thing about this too, is there's only so many ways you can say, if you think intelligently about this, you will do fine. Like, I don't even think I have to tell you or anyone else who to buy anymore because I think our industry has gotten a lot smarter about it. And truthfully, it always seems to be being 2 sports seasons ahead. Football season just ended. When would I buy football? Next month to 3 months from now, I guess at this
2 weeks
point,
ago.
because well, sure, you could buy 2 weeks ago. I mean, now the industry is starting to get pick up again because people obviously are traveling to shows, they're spending more money, all more positive sentiment. Bitcoin just hit 50K. Like people who have other assets
Total
are feeling.
flex.
Kai, it's true. First off, I love crypto, but like that's not the point. Secondly, like I was telling you for a while to buy crypto anyway. Hell, and that's where we launch our oh shit, what are they called?
Oh, an NFT.
Thank you. Yeah, remember NFTs?
We're gonna have a limited edition NFT out of 50 for sold too early. $5,000 a piece.
Well, no, you see, Kai, you're missing the point. You have to have a mystery box.
Mystery
And
box included.
yes, and the mystery box could be anything. Or you could buy the NFT itself. The mystery box has a 0.1% chance of being a hollow, and that hollow puts you in a raffle.
It puts you in a raffle for another raffle.
Listen, this is. I think I just solved repackers. I think I just solved it. Shit, I don't even remember what I was talking about. People are feeling better about sports cards, obviously, these days. A lot more positive sentiment. The trick is obviously selling a little too early, ironically enough, in the podcast name. But you win so much more on these established assets if you sell, if you bought quarterbacks in March and sold in late June, early July versus holding on to them when they're running on the field week 1. It's just so interesting because obviously people who held on to quarterbacks through the season would be like, oh, this investment worked. It was perfect. Meanwhile, 15 of them didn't. And it's like, well,
more than that, this year was insane. I think like Purdy and Mahomes had a pretty good dip, actually. So I wouldn't even say Mahomes. Like, I don't even know what investments would have done well.
Jordan Love.
Stroud, I guess, if there was such a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I was wrong about Jordan Love. Everything else I kind of nailed. I think more of. But then again, Jordan Love's peak.
He dipped too. You had to like rebuy into him in the third quarter-ish of the season.
He was. Jordan Love was bad for about 3 to 5 weeks.
Yeah, he had a rough stretch in the middle.
And then he obviously excelled. I don't know. I mean, once again, like the trick is, and I think we have recordings of this, which is good because you could always hear back to it. If you believe in these quarterbacks, that's awesome. You sell before the season, you buy back later. And I know that we kind of harp on that point a lot, but football is the easiest market, in my opinion, to like understand and explain to someone because there is a track record of it now. And I will never tell you that is guaranteed money because obviously nothing is guaranteed here. But if you want to follow a pretty consistent method of making money, buying early into the offseason, middle of the offseason, and selling into, week 1 hype, you generally will do pretty well.
Do you think it's possible to make money buying and selling established MLB players? Random question, and I know.
No, I think it's a good point too, because like obviously this is a sports card podcast. We should talk about other things besides football. Baseball is just tricky, dude. Like, unfortunately, it feels like the only products that really move the needle much are Bowman Chrome and maybe Topps Chrome. And then there's products that are just cool. Like, I would objectively rather own any kind of like Topps Dynasty rookie auto of someone rather than their Bowman Chrome. Now, the Dynasty will probably sell for a good amount less depending on what you're buying of the parallel of the Bowman Chrome. But like, would I rather own for my collection a Corbin Carroll Dynasty patch auto to 10 or a refractor auto PSA 9? I would rather have the Dynasty. Like, obviously the values are, I'm pulling this out of my ass, so like I don't know what the values would be roughly, but in terms of like being a collector, the Dynasty just sounds much, much better to me.
Yeah, I guess I just wonder, like, I know there's the buying and selling at the 70% or whatever, but I don't really know how in baseball outside of like Bowman Chrome you really can do much like investing. Like people don't really go up in price once they're in the league for a year or two, or go down even really.
No, and that's kind of leading back to the conversation we just had about the football quarterbacks and stuff. Like, if you really love a player, you're a huge Spencer Jones guy, let's say. And Spencer Jones, believe he might have products now besides Bowman Chrome. If not, maybe he's in this set coming up because he might be in Series 1, let's say, for instance. Spencer Jones is going to be pretty good. But you could buy, let's say, a Bowman Chrome auto for $200, give or take. Or you could wait for his like Bowman Sterlings or
$25.
Yeah, or finest autos, or just like decent quality rookie autos that are going to be a fifth to a tenth of the price. Would you rather have? And if you want to collect this player, you're investing in him, quote unquote. Sure, the Bowman Chrome one is the smarter move because it can go up exponentially, much more if he's the guy. But if you're on a budget and you want to afford something else, or you take half the money into flipping cars and half it into collecting, you could buy 3 Spencer Jones base autos from Bowman Sterling or Finest versus that Bowman Chrome one, and then go buy X amount of flipping stuff. Like, there are options out there for any price point, which is really nice. But unless that player just comes out and is incredible in the first couple of years, like, yeah, it's just like the curve to sell baseball is just so much sharper than any other sport.
Yeah, it's always like, oh, Mookie Betts is going to do the same thing he's done the last 5 years. Who cares? Oh, Matt Olson is going to hit 40 home runs for the third time in a row. Who cares? It's not. There's never any like intrigue or like people predict. Like there's none of that's like priced into hype or anything in baseball. Doesn't feel like, unless it's like a first, second rookie year guy.
I'm curious to see, like, one thing I've noticed a lot too is when the first Bowman is of the player in the correct jersey, like they stay on the same team for a long time. I mean, obviously that generates fan interest to have the guys on a team for 15 years or something. Like, then the price will hold up a lot more. I'm curious though in a couple of years how Shohei's Bowman Chrome prices compare, because obviously now he's on the Dodgers. He'll be on the Dodgers theoretically for the rest of his career, and seeing what his prices kind of do. I mean, he is now to the 10th degree what Bowman Chrome means on that higher end world, because he is the most expensive Bowman Chrome player you could buy right now.
Yeah, I think his stuff's due for a little bit of a dip, no matter how well he does, I think. And I honestly think he's going to struggle a little bit with the Dodgers. I don't know why, but I just kind of see him maybe a little bit too much pressure compared to the Angels. But
I'm going to disagree there. I think Shohei could possibly hit like 40 or 50 home runs next year because he's just going to have the.
Didn't he do that last year?
I believe Shohei hit like 46. I know he got shut down at the end of the year.
He missed like a month, right?
So I'm just checking Baseball Reference. So Shohei last year had 44 home runs in 500 at bats. He played 135 games. So he could have hit 50. His career high is 46 in 2021. So I don't think, I mean, his OPS plus was 184. So he was 84% better than the league average hitter last year. With the protection that he's going to have in that Dodgers lineup, it wouldn't shock me if he had a career year from the plate. I mean, it also wouldn't shock me if teams pitch around him and like just deal with any other all-star that could be bad.
I feel like he's not going to have protection. He's going to be the protection.
I think the lineup is supposed to be, at least what Dave Roberts said, something like Mookie, Freddie Freeman, and Ohtani 1, 2, 3. So I don't know who'd be batting cleanup.
I would go Mookie, Freddie, Will Smith, Ohtani, because you got to have a righty between Freddie and Ohtani.
I mean, that could work too. I mean, I'm not sure how many games Will Smith would play.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
The issue is Shohei's going to be the DH next year, so I don't see him playing in the field at all. It'd be really weird and probably bad for him, especially because
Will Smith. Yeah. Isn't it going to be crazy if he pitches again? They're going to have him and Yamamoto.
I'm so excited to see what
That's kind of crazy. Imagine being like an Asian baseball fan and then like getting to go to like a series where both of them pitch.
Dude, it's the Dodgers could win 110 games next year. It wouldn't shock me. Or next
Still
year.
gonna
Or
lose to the Braves though.
probably. Or I should say the following year when Otani's pitching again. The point is they are scary. So.
Yeah.
What else though? What else is happening?
We could maybe talk draft or NFL Super Bowl.
I did watch a little bit of like draft type stuff because now the season's over. Obviously, I care more about mock drafts. I really try not to get super into it until like closer to the NFL draft, which is April. So we have 2 good months of Todd McShay and Mel Kiper Jr. going back and forth on mock drafts. What I will say though is that I believe the Bears will draft Caleb Williams. I don't think that's a shocking thing to say to anyone. I really expect like 5 QBs to go in the top like 10 to 12 picks because this always seems to happen. One of the QBs who's out on the outside looking in, like Bo Nix or Michael Penix or JJ McCarthy, is gonna shock teams at the combine, really impress them, and then JJ McCarthy was a 2nd round pick. Now he's sneaking in the top 30. Oh shit! All of a sudden, this team the Saints love him at 12, and the Saints gotta have him. And then he gets drafted like 9th because the hype just immediately builds to the point where it's unrealistic. It happens every year. Some quarterbacks can be taken way too high. Someone's gonna reach, whether it is McCarthy, Bo Nix, Michael Penix. It's going to happen. I very much expect the top 4 picks to be Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr. in that order, and anything else beyond that would be absolutely nuclear in my opinion.
I've seen some rumors about your Giants wanting to keep Daniel another year.
I get it because they're on the outside looking in at those top 3 guys. If they were at 4, I think they would be able to consider trading up into top 3 and getting whatever guy was left. At 6, you're either reaching for Penix or McCarthy or whatever, some other hype QB that happens.
Would you trade for Justin Fields?
I would trade for Justin Fields based on someone getting Daniel Jones from me. If someone takes Daniel Jones from me at $40 million, and
direct swap.
Oh yeah, 100%, easily.
You have to give them a 4th round pick.
Yeah, 100%.
You would do that?
Just because of the cap hit as well.
2nd round pick.
No, I don't think a 2nd round pick I could do. The issue with
I would do that, honestly.
I think I would consider maybe a 3rd round pick, a conditional 3rd. I would consider. Yeah. Only once again, I obviously am a big Justin Fields hater. I just don't think he's a good NFL quarterback. But at that point too, the Bears are paying Daniel Jones a salary. You then can try one more time to build something with that free cap space you have. You can keep Saquon Barkley at that point too, and then you probably end up being 7-10, 8-9. And then you draft a quarterback the following year. And while they're saying next year's draft class is not going to be good for QBs, yes, it will, because someone's going to win the Heisman who's obviously a QB, and he's going to be incredible, and we didn't see this happening. And then there's 3 quarterbacks taken again in the first 10 picks, and the shit keeps on repeating because guess what? Every year seems to have a generational QB or this highly regarded QB prospect, and whether or not it happens, there's always someone who's overtaken and overdrafted, except for 2022, 2021, whatever the Canadian Pickett draft year was, where he just straight up was just ass.
So what are you talking about? 2021 or 2020?
Whatever draft class Kenny Pickett was in.
Oh yeah.
Because like that draft class was actually ass for QBs.
Isn't it crazy that Purdy's that year. Purdy's the best dude, and he was the last pick.
Purdy right now has probably the best career of any of those guys at this moment in time. Within 2 years. Like, no, what I'm saying is, like, no matter what Kenny Pickett does now, I don't think his career could eclipse what Brock Purdy does.
Oh, yeah.
He plays for.
None of them 3 are ever going to make the Super Bowl. Come on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't love where the Giants are at all in this space, but I've also not really loved the Giants are at really in the last 10 years.
You guys just got to blow it up.
like, unfortunately, it all ties back to Dave Gettleman and the Saquon Barkley pick. It was unfortunately really the wrong move, and we have suffered as a result ever since.
I mean, was it though?
It was 100% the wrong pick.
He was really good.
It doesn't matter. They ruined his career up to this point. What they should have done is taken the Colts trade offer that they gave the Jets. The Giants should have taken that instead, and you spider out from there, depending on who.
He was 18, right? Or 19? 18? 17?
At least
16?
Saquon is 2018.
18.
Saquon Barkley is.
So who would you have rather had?
Well, I'm going to pull up the draft in 2 seconds, and I'll tell you. Because obviously hindsight's 2020. I
That was
think
what, like Darnold's rookie year, right?
So in that world, the Colts trade up to 2. I don't know who they would take. I guess they would have taken. Wait, what was this trade? Hang on. I have to Google this trade again.
Because Saquon was the 4th overall pick, I want to say, right?
Yeah.
He was the 2nd over. It's a bad draft. Yeah.
Okay, hang on. I'm rereading this.
I'm trying to think of who that. Oh, Lamar was that year.
No, you're not. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get that guy. So the Colts traded the number 3 pick in 2018 NFL draft to the New York Jets for the 6th pick and 2 second-rounders, 1 in 2019. So
wait, but Lamar was the last pick. Why wouldn't you get him?
Because in hindsight, we're talking about the first overall, the first pick in the first round. The Giants would not have taken Lamar Jackson anyway in that world. So what I'm saying is,
are you saying they're racist?
No, I'm not saying the racist guy. I'm saying you can have a conversation at the end of the first round if the Giants don't take a QB.
So who else were the quarterbacks? Read them off.
I'm going to 1 second. I was really familiar. I was getting familiar with this trade because the Giants should have made this trade with the Jets. Wait, I gotta read this.
A little in-state love.
Okay, yeah. So the Giants should have made the trade with the Jets. I had to make sure I read that correctly.
Dave has internally combusted.
I have. Because then the Jets would have taken Sam Darnold at 2. Then at 6, the Giants would have taken one of Quinn Nelson, possibly. Actually, probably would have taken Quinn Nelson at 6. Josh Allen with 7. I mean, the Giants would probably ruined.
He'd be dead by now.
He would be dead. They possibly would have taken Roquan Smith as well. So they would have ended up with
Smith is a giant pick for sure.
Roquan Smith, Quinn Nelson, or Mike McGlinchey.
Oh no! Mike McGlinchey's the giant, 100%.
Either way, they would have taken offensive lineman. I don't see the Giants taking Josh Rosen there. It could have happened, but I doubt it.
Would have been perfect for your PC.
Fucking, I hate you guys so much. Then the Giants took Will Hernandez. Okay, that probably still happens. Colts took Shaquille Leonard. LOL. That could have been good.
So was it just Lamar and Allen? I think we're missing a quarterback, right? That was decent.
It was Darnold. It was. Hang on.
Who was the first pick?
First pick in that draft was Baker.
Oh, Baker. That's who I'm forgetting.
It was Baker, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and then last pick was Lamar Jackson. So,
would you rather have had Baker Mayfield?
Baker still goes 1. It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah.
No, but let's say the Giants had the chance to get him. Would you rather have Baker or Saquon?
I think in that instance, I mean, it's got to be Baker because then if we're doing revisionist history, the Giants take Baker in this imaginary world. They trade Eli Manning for wherever they can because Eli at that point was
old and bad.
Well, Eli was always kind of old and bad for a while. The wheels fell off basically at that point anyway. And yeah, 2019 was his last year anyway.
He was
so
rough that year.
Maybe you don't trade Eli because he's like a franchise icon. Like they don't want to do that.
You retire in peace.
Eli Manning had a fucking 500 record, so he went 117 and 117. Jesus Christ.
Such an Eli Manning stat.
I know, dude. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, too. Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. Yes, he is.
If he makes the Hall of Fame, Matt Ryan's like a gold 100-star first ballot Hall of Famer.
Matt Ryan's not making the Hall of Fame.
Strongly disagree.
Well, we'll know this time next year.
No, we're pulling up the stats.
We will know in a year if Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. Also, the
He
issue, Kyle,
retired that long ago?
it was 5 years.
Oh my God, I feel old.
Because remember, COVID kind of fucked everything up, remember?
Jesus, that's disgusting.
I know. Like, hang on, 2024.
Brother, this guy has 244 interceptions.
I know. So, like, for instance, the 2024 draft, or 2024 Hall of Fame class, Dwight Freeney, Devin Hester, Andre Johnson, Julius Peppers, and Patrick Willis. Incredible. I want to see 2025.
Can we listen to this real quick? Eli Manning played 2 more games than Matt Ryan in his career.
Yep.
And he has 61 more interceptions, 20 less touchdown passes, and 5,000 less yards.
Stats don't really matter, honestly, at that point. Because
he also has 7 less wins in his career.
Matt
with
Ryan won an
much
MVP as
better supporting cast on defense. And potentially similar on offense. Probably Matt Ryan had better. But he does not have any MVPs, all pros, and less Pro Bowls. No Rookie of the Year.
Who had better weapons in the crew? Matt Ryan or
probably Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan had Julio Jones basically his entire career.
Tony Gonzalez for a couple seasons. Roddy White for his career.
Michael Turner.
And then
Giants.
Outside of that,
Giants
Eli had what? Eli had like the 3 solid dudes in the Super Bowl runs.
He had Plaxico, Mario Manningham, Hakeem Nicks,
Ahmad Bradshaw,
Smith, Derek Ward, Brandon Jacobs, OBJ for a little bit. Victor Cruz. Honestly, you might have had better quality with the Falcons, but quantity, I think it was the Giants.
I think you're right.
Jeremy Shockey.
So you're agreeing with me.
I think there's a conversation there on who had better weapons on offense. You definitely had better guy. No, I don't know who had better coaching. Tom Coughlin was pretty good. I don't know.
I would say your coaching was definitely better, considering we never won a Super Bowl.
That's the reason why Eli Manning makes the Hall of Fame.
Let's check out the playoff stats. Why don't we?
Go for it.
Matt Ryan has more touchdown passes in the playoffs despite playing less games, and he has less interceptions despite playing less games. Well, that doesn't make any sense, but he has less interceptions. He also has basically the same amount of yards. He has 4 less wins overall. And yeah, I don't know. I really think Matt Ryan. I know he didn't win the Super Bowl twice, but I just don't think it's really close on how good they were.
It doesn't matter though. It's also a narrative story too.
Fair, but it's just a stupid narrative.
Now I don't know if Eli Manning makes the Hall of Fame the first year, but here's who. I don't know if he does. I'm not debating that. I don't think he does make the first ballot, but I think he can make it. Here's who's on the 2025 ballot, and here's why I think we'll make it. Luke Kuechly 100% makes the Hall of Fame first ballot. Marshall Yanda 100% makes the first ballot. Earl Thomas makes it most likely first ballot. Vinatieri should make it first ballot. I would be surprised if he doesn't. I could see it happening, but I think Adam Vinatieri makes it first ballot. Joe Staley probably makes the Hall of Fame, maybe first ballot. Marshawn Lynch is an interesting candidate for the Hall of Fame.
That's a tough one. It
is a tough one. Then you have Eli Manning, which I think Eli Manning will make the Hall of Fame. Probably not make it first ballot, but we'll see. Ryan Khalil. Centers are kind of tough to make it. Darren Sproles has no shot making the Hall of Fame. Clay Matthews probably doesn't make it. Travis Frederick could. Cameron Wake just had a bad start to his career from what I remember.
Yeah, Cameron Wake's kind of tough.
Terrell Suggs should make the Hall of Fame. He's on here too. Aqib Talib probably doesn't make the Hall of Fame. Demaryius Thomas won't, which is sad. Just too many wide receivers. Vernon Davis is interesting. He won't make it, but he had a very good career. And then everyone else I don't think has a shot. It's tough.
Yeah, I feel like the Hall of Fame's kind of getting watered down anyways.
No, I wouldn't say that because they have a guaranteed group of 5 people
But
per
how does
year.
Antonio Gates not make it? That's what I want to know.
Well, Antonio Gates should make it on this
But
next year's
first
ballot.
ballot, come on, he should have.
I know. So I guess if you tell me to pick 5 right now, it's Luke Kuechly, Marshall Yonda, Earl Thomas, Antonio Gates, and Vinatieri.
Did you say Marshall Yonda?
Yeah. It's fine. It's a respectable ballot.
Vinatieri, I think, is 100% lock.
I agree he's a lock. I don't know if Vinatieri's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You could debate me on that.
He's probably like top 3 most points in NFL history, right?
I think he's number 1.
So, yeah, he's a lock. Come on.
It's just they're weird about kickers and punters. So like I could see someone not putting him as a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is fine. But Gates, Kuechly, Yonda, Earl Thomas, and I believe Adam Vinatieri will be my ballot next year.
Yeah, I mean that's reasonable. I don't really have any like disagreements per se.
What I'm really missing from 2024 that like should have made it. Eric Berry's interesting. Haloti Ngata's interesting. Jamal Charles, rip. Like he should have been so much better. Jamal Charles, fun fact, has the most yards per carry ever in the NFL.
Really? I'm sure there's like a minimum though, right?
There is a minimum. It's like a 500.
That makes sense. He was really good. I don't think he makes the Hall of Fame though.
No, he doesn't deserve to.
Wow, that was aggressive.
He wasn't good enough. Like I don't even know Marshawn Lynch
is good enough. He just didn't play long enough in his prime.
Yes, but like Marshawn Lynch is a much more interesting debate, and I don't think he ends up making it. I love Marshawn Lynch. Jamal Charles has no shot.
See, I would argue Jamal Charles had a better career than Marshawn Lynch. Outside of the Super Bowl, obviously.
No, I'm just checking this. Welcome to the podcast, by the way. Hey, we talk about a lot of fun stuff.
The Stat Research Podcast.
Yeah. Marshawn Lynch. That's Jamal Charles. Hang on. No. Yo, fucking Marshawn Lynch blew out Jamal Charles. So Jamal Charles, everything. Jamal Charles only started 69 games in his career. Nice. Really? Yeah, it's kind of shocking too. He really didn't start after 2014. Like the last 4 years of his career, he was just like a backup. So his prime was really just like 5 years, which is kind of crazy.
He was the man, though.
He was the man. Jamal Charles had 1,400 rushing attempts, 7,500 yards, 44 touchdowns rushing. Where is it? Wait. Where is this? Hang on a second here. What am I reading? Where's rushing touchdowns? Oh, 44 rushing. Yeah, I was right. 44 rushing touchdowns. And then he caught 20. Okay, that's what I read. I was confused. So he had 64 total career touchdowns. Marshawn Lynch had 2,400 attempts, 10,413 rushing yards, 85 touchdowns, and then caught 9 touchdowns. So he had 94 touchdowns compared to 64. And also 1,000 more rushes. Now, Jamal Charles did a lot more with those rushing attempts. He averaged 5.4 yards per attempt versus Marshawn's 4.2. But Marshawn was the guy, and his prime was about the same. Yeah. Marshawn retired in 2016. I forgot about that. And then came back.
Prime was probably like 7 years.
Marshawn Lynch's prime is really from 2017 to 2014. Yeah, about 7 years.
Wait, that math? You mean 2007?
What? Sorry,
2017.
My bad. 2007 to 2014. My bad.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Marshawn Lynch came back in 2019 for a game. That's hilarious.
Raiders, right?
He was Buffalo to Seattle to Oakland, and he came back to Seahawks for one game in 2019. I did not know that.
Oh, I didn't know. Was it a playoff game?
No, it was just a normal game.
That's crazy.
When did this happen? Wait, what? I would love to have that jersey. Speaking of cool jerseys, There's someone on Instagram who has Adrian Peterson's last game worn jersey and helmet from when he played for the Seahawks.
Adrian Peterson?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that era. That's funny.
That was like 2021.
Yeah.
I think AP played for them.
I'm pretty sure he's really close to like a benchmark of rushing yards, right? Like most all time or top 3 or something.
He's in the top 3.
I think he's like 100 yards away or something.
He's like 82 yards away from 15,000.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, this guy owns the one jersey that AP wore, game worn, from the one game he played as the Seahawks running back.
It's kind of
he had 16 yards on 11 attempts and a touchdown. It's kind of neat.
It's not bad.
I mean, it's not good. But
you got a touchdown. You don't have a touchdown.
That's true. I don't have a touchdown. I do have as many. Remember the year Reggie Bush had negative rushing yards?
I do. That's the only, or was it year or game?
It was a year. Hang on. Now we're just doing this. Welcome to just looking at random running back stats with David and Kai. It was 2016. Reggie Bush had 12 attempts for negative 3 yards and 1 touchdown, which is hilarious. That was also his last year in the league.
That's crazy.
I know. That's a good one. All right. What other closing thoughts? Burbank's going to be incredible this year. I'm excited to attend and set up again because I forgot to talk about Burbank a lot. Kai, I really expect a bunch of repackers to be there and buy out all the good quality stuff within the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, would you expect any different?
Nope. And I mean, you said the same thing. Wait, hang on. Meeks just texted me about Price Guns, which is hilarious because wearing his merch.
That's funny.
Well, not merch, but his apparel, I should say.
Merch.
I guess, but he's not selling it. So it's not. Yeah. Petrocat Sports Cards and SpeedyCardLister.ai partnership. Learn more about it in the description below. I'm kidding. No, anything good and reasonably priced stuff at Burbank will be gone immediately. Repackers will be buying all of it. That's kind of what I'm bringing on purpose because then I'll just take the cash and buy something else and get more inventory that way. It's my move.
Yep. I mean, you can't really complain about it because, like, I mean, they're helping in the overall scheme of things, but at the same time, for like the common show goer, it kind of sucks.
I mean, you even mentioned it too when you went to Atlanta that, like, within the first, like, you felt a couple hours, it was already like.
Yeah, I walked around and I mean, either people were buying out currently or like tables were already just basically empty or they were putting new inventory out. So it was kind of crazy because that was the first show I've really been to outside of like a Dallas or two and then National that like repacking's been a big thing. So yeah.
I'm gonna buy something from Jack. Jack always has Sunspan 8 always has cool stuff.
Oh god.
I guess I can spoil all the stuff I buy to be cool. Jack has the first game used hit from the Miami Marlins franchise.
First
autographed and signed.
Oh wow.
So the first hit of the Miami Marlins franchise he has. I offered him $2,500.
Like the ball?
The ball.
Oh wow. Is it signed or anything or just the ball?
Signed by the guy who hit it.
Who is it?
Some guy. It doesn't matter.
What's his name?
I offered him $2,500 for it. He has a $3K offer. I said I would match it.
That's staying in the PC forever.
It'll go on eBay for like $10K best offer.
eBay, otherwise known as the PC forever.
Well, once again, it doesn't matter. Like, and that's the fun. And we'll end on this note too. Like, it doesn't matter if something truly is PC or not. If you put it on eBay and have an auto decline set at, let's say I bought the ball for $3K. Put on eBay for $10K best offer, auto decline $5K. It might take 5 years for somebody to come and offer me $6,500. Okay, like I own this for X amount of time. Now my auto decline was useful for a reason. Therefore, oh, okay, cool. I'll sell it if I choose to. If not, then no big deal. Like, nothing is truly PC. Nothing should ever not be on eBay. In my opinion, you should always have some, especially if it's rare and expensive. It should be on there for a stupid amount of money. If someone gives you that stupid amount of money you want, you take it. Like, that's just how I look at things.
I bet you trade that ball for $10K worth of cards.
That'd be fucking awesome if I buy it for $3. I don't think I would take that to a show. I would be not sure how that would get a lot of interest. It'd be cool, but
you just put it on the table with a little sticky note.
Maybe. Not for Jack 3K. I upped my offer from 25. I told him I'd match it.
Well, hopefully you buy it.
I offer him 30-50. I want it. And we'll see what happens.
30-50 or 3,500?
$3,050.
Oh, jeez.
Because if I lose that ball for $50 now, I'll be annoyed at myself. So I kind of want it.
Well, next episode we will be giving away the first Miami Marlins hit ball. Hopefully, you
make
guys...
sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and Kai will make sure to personally hand deliver it to you after he takes off my dead corpse. See you guys next week, and bye.